coming into this one with a 6-2 mark.
And you love double-digit road wins. You love double-digit wins anytime you can get them. But it can also, it's crazy as a coach because you want close games in the non-conference to get your team tough and ready to play. But you love double-digit victories right now. So Middle Tennessee's got it rolling, and they're going to try to keep that going tonight against a very good Houston squad.
Middle has won 4 in a row, all 4 by double digits. As the starting 5 for Rick Insol's Lady Raiders: Savannah Wheeler, Jalen Gregory, Courtney Whitson, Courtney Blakely, and Anastasia Boldareva. As going the other way and trading turnovers is Middle Tennessee and Houston. And Ronald Huey in his 9th season at Houston, going with Layla Blair, Tatiana Hill, Bria Patterson, Brittany Onyeje, and Cameron Jones. And there's that full court pressure, trying to force the pace early that Houston is known for, that Darren was just talking about.
Yeah, and Layla Blair, watch her tonight. She's really good. She's the leader of this Houston team. Led them in scoring, assists, and three-pointers last year. She was an all-conference selection last year. She's preseason all-conference this year. Houston's got talent, and they've got athleticism, and they've got length, and they present a unique matchup. You can see how they're just switching out here on the perimeter. They're going to try to get out and really pressure these Middle Tennessee perimeter players.
Boldareva, just her 3rd three-point attempt on the year, and she's knocked down all 3.
She doesn't do it often, but when she does so far this season, she's money, and she does it again. 3 for 3 on the season. That's a nice start for Boldareva.
Her 10th career made three-pointer. She's well over 50% for her career from behind the arc.
And you can see there, Middle Tennessee, they're not going to guard Houston out on the perimeter. Houston struggles to score from the three-point line. So you saw Courtney Whitson there just sagging back in. It's a real contrast in styles defensively right now.
Savannah Wheeler going strong with the left hand, but Boldareva scores the first couple of buckets for the Blue Raiders.
Another thing Middle Tennessee does well so far this season, rebound the basketball. They have a plus rebounding margin. That's critical. Houston's got to get some offensive boards because, like I said, they don't score the basketball well in the half court.
Onyeje's 3 is well off the mark. Houston shooting just 20% from long distance so far this season.
And when you watch them on film, they get good looks and they get open looks. For whatever reason right now, they're just not falling. So I'm sure it's something that the coaching staff at Houston is well aware of. They're working on it in practice, and sometimes it's just it could be as easy as a mental thing. One hot game, a couple go, and then look out. They could all start falling.
Last touched by the Cougars, stays with Middle Tennessee. 15 on the shot clock. Jalen Gregory to inbound. Running out of time, able to find Whitson. Now 5 on the shot clock for Wheeler.
Onyeje really pressuring Wheeler right there, really trying to keep her from getting a clean look at the basketball and at the rim.
Rebound goes to Houston as Wheeler had to put it up with the clock running down. And now Layla Blair. Now Patterson trying to create. Drops it off for Jones, who knocks down the baseline jumper.
15-foot jumper there for Jones. That's her range. She's capable of making that shot, and a good sign if you're Coach Huey and the coaching staff for Houston to see an outside jump shot fall.
Courtney Blakely making her 4th straight start. One of the mini ball handlers in the lineup for Rick Insol. They're going to be needed tonight as Whitson will line up a corner 3 and knock it down.
That's a great pop by Courtney Whitson. Houston trapped Blakely off the ball screen. Whitson noticed it right away, and instead of rolling down where the help defense was, she just spaced to the corner, and she had a pop 3-point shot right there. Really nice offense for Middle Tennessee.
Whitson coming off her lowest scoring effort of the season, just 6 points in the road win against Memphis as Blair knocks down the mid-range J.
Yeah, but Courtney Whitson doesn't care about that. As there's, you can see Houston. They're going to get it. They're going to turn you over. They want you to get it on the floor. They want to try to make this ugly. I think that was a good no call there.
Tatiana Hill hit the deck hard as we get the whistle after the fall.
Yeah, Coach Huey's wondering if there was an elbow. I didn't think there was. It looked like the elbow got up in that area, but I don't think there was a connection. So I think that was a good no call. The officials, I know, are just kind of talking about it real quick.
Foul is on Yeje, and I believe we're going to take a look at it. And our officials tonight, Michael McConnell, Cameron.
Pretty easy call. Sue Sadler even said that was a no call. She saw it. She had a good look at it. She says, play on. So we will.
15 on the shot clock. Gregory, tough runner. First bucket tonight for Jalen Gregory, coming off a season high 22 points in the road win against Memphis. Darren, she knocked down 7 3-pointers against the Tigers on Saturday.
We know she can shoot the three, but when Jalen Gregory can pull up and hit a middle game like that, she's really hard to guard. And Houston overplayed her, forced her back door like that, and she still made that shot.
Speaking of hard to guard, Layla Blair with a hand in her face, fading away from the rim. Leading scorer for the Cougars this year, almost 15 points per contest for Blair. A unanimous preseason first-team all-conference selection. Bad pass from Gregory, and a nice read by Onyeje as Boulder Raver will take a seat, and the most recent graduate on this Middle Tennessee women's basketball roster, Ksenia Malaska, will check in. Graduated over the weekend with her degree in business administration.
Yeah, how about that? And the Lady Raiders, again, an exceptional fall in the classroom with a well over a 3-point GPA.
Gregory off the rebound, too strong. And finally corralled by Houston. Blair going one-on-one, nice find. And an easy finish for Tatiana Hill.
That was a really nice interior pass. She kind of looked to the left and found Hill, and Hill just got loose on the baseline below the Middle Tennessee defense and finished there at the rim.
2.5 assists per game for Layla Blair. That leads this Cougar roster. Gregory loses her defender, puts up the 3, and no good.
And Houston's 2-8, but they're not a 2-8 basketball team. Let's make sure that we're clear on this. They've played some really close games. They lost a heartbreaker to Rice just the other night, but as you can see, they're very, very capable offensively, and their defense and their pressure really can create a difficult matchup for a lot of teams this year.
They've played a really tough schedule as well. Played 5 teams with at least 20 wins from last year. 10 on the shot clock. And Malashka had it swiped, and she's going to pick up the foul. Good defense by Tatiana Hill.
That's the second nice defensive play by Hill on the perimeter. She deflected one out of bounds last possession, and then now Malashka's got to be strong with the ball. All of Middle Tennessee perimeter players, you better be strong with the ball, and I know that's what associate head coach Matt Insel is telling her right there, because Houston's going to, if you put the ball right in front of you, Houston's going to make a play on that.
Cougs on a little 6-0 run as we are tied up at 10. On Yeje, shooter's roll. I don't know if that was a roll or a thud, but either way, it's 3 points.
It counts. That's like a sand wedge. Just spun it back on the green from about 90 yards right there.
First 3 tonight for Houston, a team that makes less than 4 threes per game. And they've got another turnover.
When you get up so high and denying the passing lanes like that, it makes it tough to get wing catches. Middle Tennessee really has to work to get open and hold off those Houston players to make sure they get a wing catch so that they can run their offense.
Blair will step into a 3 and bury it. Quick 7 points for Layla Blair.
And how many times do we say defense leads to offense? A couple steals, a couple times now. Middle Tennessee has not even got a clean look at the rim. And now here Houston is with a 6-point lead.
That ball is punted deep to left field. And a nice play over on the stats sideline.
Yeah, Wheeler wanted to get that ball to Bouldereva, and she went one-handed bounce pass. Bouldereva is 6'6". Throw it up at the rim.
Yeah, this is a Houston team that is definitely lacking in height. One of the shortest teams in the country. The shortest team in the American Athletic Conference this year. As Alexis Whittington will check in for her first run tonight. Only played 1 minute against Memphis and had missed a few games before that. So really her first action in a couple weeks. Been bothered by a left knee injury. Nice entry pass and a nice finish. Courtney Whitson, second bucket.
That time Whitson found herself alone off of the ball screen up high where Houston's rotation just couldn't get down low enough in time, and it's a really nice find by Courtney Blakely.
Blakely, a career-high 8 assists in the win on Saturday against Memphis. Tough runner from Blair, that's short. And Houston, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the entire country, comes away with one.
Whitson and Bouldereva both had their hands on that, and neither could corral it in a break for Houston.
Blair in trouble, and it'll stay with the Cougars. Darren, this is a Cougars offense that picks up over 18 offensive rebounds per game. That is 7th best in the nation right now, as they've got 5 on the shot clock.
Yeah, they go to the boards hard, but they also miss a lot of shots.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the Houston men in that respect. And, you know, I mean, I love Kelvin Sampson, and I've known him for a bunch of years, but they do the same thing down there where they chuck and chase, so to speak. And, you know, the women are doing the same thing at least a little bit so far this year. But, hey, that's a credit to both coaches to get their teams to pursue the basketball that hard, because that's not something that you can just easily teach them.
So we've got another review, and the call will stand as called. 5 seconds on the shot clock for the Cougars. On top by 4. They're on a 12-2 run over the last 4 minutes. And for an offense that has been struggling to find a rhythm all season, they've been clicking here early.
And made 7 of their last 8 field goals. But again, like we said, you watch them on film, they get wide open looks. They've just missed a bunch of them at key stretches this year. They're making them in the first quarter so far.
Tough shot by Tatiana Hill. And now here comes Blakely in transition, going 1-on-3, count it.
Such a luxury for Coach Rick Insell to have 2 point guards that have such different strengths. Courtney Blakely loves to play downhill. She attacks in transition. She can finish at the rim. Wheeler can also, but Wheeler's dangerous from the 3-point line. So what a nice change of pace. Wheeler can get a break right now. Middle doesn't miss a beat with Blakely on the floor.
Free throw drops. And it's a 1-point ball game.
And that's heady play. Courtney Blakely, she got up there to deny that inbounds pass, and Patterson noticed it, and she had to stop. And when she did, she accidentally stepped over the line. You always teach your players to get a good 2 steps past that baseline just to prevent things like that from happening.
Second turnover of the quarter for the Cougars. And now Middle can retake the lead with this possession here. Whittington. Blakely, baseline. Back out for Whitson, wing 3, no. And now Blair with the rebound. Less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter. On Yeje, guarded by Gregory, tough shot. Had time on the shot clock.
Yeah, give the Middle Tennessee Pep Band an assist on that rush and that shot, because they were counting down 3-2, and on Yeje heard them and didn't notice the clock and forced one up.
About a 6-second differential between shot and game clock So Middle's going to have to at least put it up. Gregory from deep, and I think Hill got a piece of that one. And now up ahead to Hill. Onyeje tracks it down and fires up a three at the buzzer. No good. And a back and forth first quarter here.
Not getting a shot at one end, and then Houston was able to convert at the other end. And that gave them a nice little lead, but that's to be expected. I'm telling you, don't be fooled by the 2-8 record. This Houston team is very good. They're very dangerous. And so far, that's a really nice first quarter.
Logan McNeil, the transfer from LSU, is in for her first action, and there's her first bucket on the night. At just 2 points in 11 minutes in the loss against Rice. Redshirt freshman from Rockwall, Texas. Ten on the shot clock for Blakely. Now 5. Boldareva going to work against McNeil, got it to drop.
Nice turnaround by Boldareva, and again, Houston's really switching out and trying to make it difficult to get perimeter catches so that Middle can run their offense. That time, really nice job of Middle Tennessee finding Boldareva inside.
Easy offensive foul call going against Tiara Young. That's going to be her first. Second leading scorer for the Houston Cougars this year. Did not see her in the first quarter. 13.5 points per game for Young as Wheeler breaks the press. And now Blakely will bark out the commands. They go right back to Boldareva, shorts it, stays with it, can't get it to fall. Demila Brown is checked in as well for the Cougs. There she is, fading in the lane, no. And a foul going against Houston.
Nice job by Boldareva at this end, securing the rebound. At the other end, I loved the lob pass. That was good offense. She caught it, went up, just was short on it, got her own rebound, just couldn't get it to go. But look for that more as this game unfolds. She has a distinct size advantage down low against the Houston Cougars. And they were trying to front Boldareva and offer up that pass.
Tough take from Blakely. And there's Boldareva on the rebound, and she's fouled. It's going to be the third team foul against the Cougars. And the first going against Demila Brown. One of 3 players on this Houston squad from DeSoto High School in DeSoto, Texas. Houston on top by 1, 18-17. Looking for their first road win on the season. Blakely, mid-range J, got it to fall.
Yeah, Houston wanted to force Blakely to the left. They really got out and were yelling to ice that ball screen, and Blakely made him pay because she just went to a pull-up right there. Nice job, Courtney Blakely.
So Middle back on top by 1. Brown trying to split the defense over Boldareva. Tough shot from Demila Brown. Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're good. Brown is really crafty off the bounce, and you can see that. She gets into the paint, she plays slow, and she can elevate to get that shot off.
Shot it over Boldareva, who is literally a foot taller than her. 10 seconds on the clock for Gregory. Going away from the bucket, now 5. From the logo, Bunny.
That's one of those, if you're Houston, you just tip your hat. Jalen Gregory, that was good defense by Houston. McNeil was doing a nice job fronting Boldareva down low. Jalen Gregory just had to create a shot, and she was able to do that. Good defense, better offense.
First three tonight for Gregory. Middle lead back to 2. Now Young in trouble. Brown from the corner, 3, got it.
And how many times do we see a player get inside, hit a tough one in the lane, and then all of a sudden start feeling good and getting in rhythm? That's Delilah Brown as she just stroked that three-point shot. She shot that with a lot of confidence.
Houston on the year, a 35% field goal shooting team. Tonight, almost 60% from the floor. Boldareva taking it with the left hand, strong.
That's a pro move. For a 6'6" player out on the perimeter to cross over and attack the rim downhill like that, there's nothing else you can say. That's a pro move right there from Boldareva.
Big first half from Boldareva, 9 early points. As that's a tough shot for Bria Patterson. And Middle's going the other way.
Get Boldareva right back in that high pick and see how they want to defend it this time. They're just switching out. Every on ball, they're switching.
Patterson got a piece of Wheeler's shot. Middle staying with it. Now Wheeler, the corner 3, in and out. Middle now 3 of 8 from distance tonight. Now Young against Gregory, 10 on the shot clock. Step back jumper, too strong. And Wheeler skying for the rebound, and she came down with it and traveled.
How about little Savannah Wheeler going up amongst the trees to get that loose ball rebound? It's one thing to have that size over somebody. It's another thing to actually be able to utilize it. But you've seen she's come out, she's hit a 3, she's gotten a couple offensive rebounds, done a nice job around the rim. She's having a good first half.
And a good play out of the break will send Bria Patterson to the line for the first free throws on the night for the Cougars. Patterson, another DeSoto High School product, sinks the first, coming off a season high 16 points, 9 rebounds against the Rice Owls last weekend.
That was a heck of a game, double overtime, cross town, inner city matchup between the Rice Owls and the Houston Cougars for recruiting, bragging rights for the city. Big win for Rice.
Yeah, a really good Rice team that Middle Tennessee is going to see next week, and that's going to be a 10-second violation.
Yeah, Jalen Gregory, she gets the turnover, I suppose. I mean, that's on Courtney Blakely right there. She's the point guard. It's her responsibility to make sure if she doesn't have the basketball as they're advancing it in the backcourt, she's got to make sure that her players know exactly what the timing situation is. So important for a point guard to be able to do that.
5th Middle Tennessee turnover here in the first half. And that shot will fall in for Onyeje, her second field goal tonight, 5 points.
And there you see right there, it doesn't have to be trapping and pressure all the time. Just the simple fact that Houston was playing up the line and extending their defensive pressure, Middle Tennessee had to account for it. And unfortunately for Middle, they get the turnover right there, but Houston gets the ball back and a chance to add to this lead.
3-point advantage for the Cougs. Tough shot from Young, can't fall. And now Middle trying to run as Malashka saves it.
Good job by Houston there, getting back and stopping that transition opportunity for Middle Tennessee.
Malashka stops on a dime and finds nothing but net. Her first bucket.
You run the risk when you deny and you pressure on the perimeter, you run the risk of getting beat off the bounce. If it's an offensive player, you can take someone off the bounce. Malashka very capable of doing that.
Tough take from Demilo Brown, no good. And now Middle with a chance to take the lead again. Blakely will draw the foul going against Bria Patterson. That's going to be her first and the fourth against Houston.
Yeah, Blakely kind of went up wildly on that shot attempt. She had Malashka, and I think she saw her and wasn't sure how she could get her that pass and decided to attack Houston and go up for that shot.
And it's first free throw for Blakely. Rims in and out. Sophomore from Gary, Indiana, played in all 35 games a season ago as a true freshman. Knocks down the second free throw. 6 points tonight for Blakely, and just 8 points total in her last couple of ball games. As we are tied up at 27.
Middle Tennessee with a little pressure of their own after that made free throw. Almost got a turnover there.
Hill in traffic on Yeje for three, no. And Gregory able to clear. Whitson trying to go high-low with Malashka, and she's tangled up by Layla Blair. That's going to be the fifth foul against Houston, so Middle will be at the stripe for the final 2:08.
That was a good, strong post by Malashka there. Wanting the ball high, ceiling, she had paint position. I like that physical post play when she gets down and low and gets big and wide and calls for the ball like that.
Malashka hits the first free throw, has been playing very well the last few games. 15.5 points, shooting 54% from the floor in her last three contests as she knocks down both free throws, and Middle's lead is back to 2. Middle with the pressure. And a nice find, but Hill can't finish at the rim. Dare I tell you what, Layla Blair has had some really, really nice setups tonight coming off the dribble.
Yeah, we talked about her at the beginning. She's an all-conference player, the leader of this Houston Cougar team.
In transition, three.
And on cue.
Shooting just 24% from behind the arc, which actually leads this Houston team. She's knocked down 2 threes tonight. The leading scorer for Houston, and we have our 9th lead change here in the first half as the Cougs on top by 1.
But I'm telling you, confidence is contagious, and you see a couple go in early, and it does amazing things for you as a team.
As Malashka steps into a 3. So lead change number 10. As we have less than a minute remaining before the half in what has been a hotly contested one here tonight in Murfreesboro. Ayanje. And Patterson. Jump ball, and Middle Tennessee takes a possession. Crowd wanted to travel, but Middle has the ball anyway.
Yeah, they get the possession on the jump ball. I think it could have been a travel, and as a coach, Coach Insel would want the travel because then he'd have the possession arrow to start the third quarter, but they'll get a chance here to execute against the full court pressure again by Houston.
40 seconds left here in the second quarter.
It's a nice extra pass by Whitson.
And Whittington's 3 is just off the front of the rim, but Whitson cleans it up. Back to Whittington, count it.
You can't teach this enough. So often players get caught watching on the offensive rebound Courtney Whitson came in, crashed the boards, got the rebound, and Alexis Whittington didn't stand outside the three-point line. She cut to the rim. And when you cut to the basket, good things happen.
And you can see Whittington still favoring that left knee, fighting through the pain. Has missed the last few ball games. See, she's got that sleeve on that left knee.
One of the toughest kids to put on a Middle Tennessee Lady Raider uniform. And there's been a lot of tough kids that have come through and played in this program.
In her 5th year, taking that extra COVID year. She's from right here in Murfreesboro. Won 3 state titles with Riverdale High School. Shot clock is off for Houston as Middle showing more pressure.
They've come close a couple times to getting a steal off that cross-court pass.
Ball will stay with Houston. A lot of contact on the pass. And there's 20.4 left in the half.
Middle Tennessee only with 1 team foul this quarter, so they can afford to be aggressive, get into them. And Houston should not get an easy shot here because Middle Tennessee can play tough.
Blair, tough take, shorts it with the left hand, and she took it away from Malashka but lost it out of bounds, and now Middle will have a chance to extend their 5-point lead. Just under 10 seconds left.
And that's exactly my point there. Malashka was able to really body her and get physical with her at the rim. If it was a foul call, it was before the shot. Now Middle Tennessee with a chance at the buzzer.
Wheeler up ahead to Malashka, up and under, and she will go to the line with 2.6 seconds left. And a nice find by Savannah Wheeler.
I'm sitting here thinking, because you're right, and is it a nice find? But it was an even better catch. So credit to both right there.
Yeah.
Savannah Wheeler had her head up, was able to throw it down there under the rim, but Malashka had to come from the right side of the block to the left to gather it and then go back up and draw the contact.
Malashka hits both. 8 points in just 6 minutes for Malashka as Houston will run out the clock. And Middle Tennessee goes on a 13-3 run over the last few minutes to take a 7-point lead into halftime.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee doing it at the defensive end.
Came into this game averaging just under 6 points and 3 rebounds, so almost doubling up her season average in the first 2 quarters. Houston has possession for the opening of the half. That ball is loose and picked up by Gregory.
Great anticipation, Courtney Whitson, that little high post entry that Houston wanted to run. Courtney saw that. That's good scouting right there. Middle Tennessee knows Houston wants to come out, run a set here to start the 3rd quarter. They had Courtney Whitson in perfect position to make a play.
10 on the shot clock for Blakely. Now Gregory, corner 3, and that's how you start a half.
Gregory's defender was worried about Boldareva, so they were kind of sandwiching the post down low. And if you're going to help off a Jalen Gregory and sandwich into the post, Jalen Gregory's going to have a field day from behind the 3-point line.
Coming into this game, Gregory had knocked down 28 shots. 22 of them were threes, as here she goes the other way, drawing the foul. And now she'll go to the line where she is the best free throw shooter in Conference USA so far this season.
Middle Tennessee letting their defense work and convert to offense here to start the 3rd quarter.
Second foul against Cameron Jones. She'll take a seat, as that's the first foul against Houston in the quarter. And that's just the 2nd free throw that Gregory has missed all year. 20 of 22. Perfect on the 2nd. 9 points now for the sophomore from Lafayette, Tennessee. Now Middle showing all the pressure.
I've liked this. After made free throws, Middle Tennessee has went to this contained kind of pressure, just making it difficult for Houston. And they've come close to a couple steals.
Tierra Young well short on the 3-point attempt. She was scoreless in the first half. 2nd leading scorer for this Cougar team 13.5 points per contest for the LSU transfer.
The other thing that pressure does for you is it makes it difficult to get into your offense, and that's what you saw right there. Houston really kind of forced up a shot right there and didn't run their offense.
Wheeler trying to create space, doesn't get the call, but it'll stay Middle Tennessee ball, 24 on the shot clock. No points in the first half for Savannah Wheeler. 0 for 6 from the floor. Leading scorer for Middle Tennessee this year, as that's going to be a foul against Houston. Second against Layla Blair. Boulder-Rava setting up the screen for Wheeler, now rolling. And now Wheeler's in trouble.
Yeah, Houston continuing to switch the on ball and the down screen.
5 on the shot clock for Wheeler, in traffic, running into a brick wall and losing it. Great defense by Tatiana Hill to beat her to the spot. And then Patterson drives hard to the lane and draws the foul against Boulder-Rava. Her first.
Yeah, that was good defense by Houston. Again, they switched the ball screen and the down screen. So when you do that, it makes it really difficult to just make an easy funnel pass to the big that's coming up. Middle Tennessee's going to have to adjust right there, and then Houston did a nice job getting a transition opportunity here at this end.
That's just a third team foul against Middle Tennessee in this ball game tonight, as that first free throw from Bria Patterson is off.
They've done a nice job defending without fouling. In Houston, they've had some open looks. They haven't really tried to attack the rim off the bounce. They've kind of settled for some jump shots, and they've made them.
Foul going against Houston as Blakely hit the deck. Third team foul against the Cougars here in the third quarter. Going against Onyeje, as that 3 from Whitson too strong. 3 fouls now for Brittany Onyeje. And here she is lining up the 3 and knocking it down, her second tonight. Eight points tonight for the transfer from UCF.
There you saw that switch again. And Courtney Blakely's got to be aware of that. She can't just turn and expect Whitson to be open right away.
Now 10 on the shot clock for Blakely at half court. Driving hard against Blair. Good defense by the Cougars yet again, but then they lose it out of bounds. Cougars wanting a foul call, not getting it. And neither coach very happy with what's going on right now.
Coach Insel's upset with Courtney Blakely. And Coach Huey's upset with the officials. and both are giving an earful to the respective people that are on the back end of that.
So Middle gets a fresh 30 after the change of possession. Gregory just got it in. Boulder-Rava going hard to the paint. Can't get it to fall. 7-point advantage, 41-34 for Middle. Blair, mid-range J is short. And Whittington, who's just checked in with the rebound. That one's taken away. And then a foul on the drive as Demilah Brown had the swipe. First foul against Blakely, team second.
Frustration by Blakely. How many times do we see that where you turn it over or miss a shot and just out of frustration you want to compound it? Doesn't hurt because Houston has to take the ball out on the side, but that was a good take by Blakely. She just thought Boulder-Rava was going to roll to the rim. Boulder-Rava kind of stayed out.
And a nice finish. Tatiana Hill, her second bucket tonight, 4 points now from the graduate from Houston. Gregory had it in the corner, but just lost it. Now Boulder-Rava fading away from the rim, shorts it.
Yeah, I'd love to see her kind of turn and go into contact a little bit, but Gregory had that. I think she knew she was so wide open, she fumbled the ball there.
Boulder-Reva able to get a hang of it as Houston's on a little 6-0 run. Boulder-Reva trying to get some territory in the paint. Not getting any luck as Whitson will draw the foul.
Yeah, Hill and Boulder-Reva are really battling down low, and Hill's got a nice physical frame, and she's really making Boulder-Reva work right now.
Second foul on Bria Patterson. That's going to be the fourth against Houston as Courtney Whitson, an 87% free throw shooter, heads to the line for the first time tonight. It's the first. And the second. Whitson playing in her 99th game as a Blue Raider. And she has started in all 99 of them. As she is now just 3 points shy of 1,000 for her career as that foul is going against Middle. And the third team foul going against Savannah Wheeler.
Hard to believe Courtney Whitson on the verge of 1,000 points. He was a high school kid as a sophomore in high school, not overly recruited, kind of trying to figure out the game a little bit, and found a home at Middle Tennessee.
Patterson will pick up the foul. That's going to be her third. Kind of wrong place, wrong time as Wheeler fell on her after the miss, but that will send Wheeler to the charity stripe. Seven-point advantage for Middle Tennessee. Savannah Wheeler looking for her first points tonight. And she's got the first one. 17.3 points on the year for the transfer from Marshall. That's third best in Conference USA. She is now a 90% free throw shooter. Hill to Young in the paint, loses it, and Wheeler with the steal.
It's a great example there, Middle Tennessee, and then they get the offense from Jalen Gregory. Coach Huey's going to take a timeout, but they didn't get the trap.
6 threes so far tonight, 6 of 13 from deep tonight, Darren.
Picking up where they left off in the fourth quarter out at Memphis with the three-point barrage.
Yeah, Jalen Gregory had 4 fourth quarter three-pointers in the win against Memphis, and a foul going against the Cougs. That's going against Tatiana Hill.
I didn't see what she did down on the block there.
Didn't either.
She's so physical on the defensive end, and maybe took that to the offensive end and maybe displaced Malashka.
It's her third foul.
If you're Rick Insel in Middle Tennessee, you're pleased with this third quarter start. As well as they played in Memphis last weekend, they were really frustrated with that third quarter. And I'm sure at halftime they addressed that. They wanted to get out to a better start here to start the third, and thus far they've done that.
And now Malashka's in double figures for the 8th time in 9 games so far this season. 11 points tonight for Malashka, all off the bench. What a weapon it is to be able to have your second leading scorer come off the bench like that.
Yeah, it's a luxury, and what a weapon to have the second leading scorer okay with that. Understands it's not about starting games, it's about being on the floor when it matters to finish.
Tough shot from Tiara Young. That's her first bucket tonight. Speaking of second leading scorers coming off the bench, that's Tiara Young as well. 13.5 points, only behind Layla Blair. Middle's lead is back up to a dozen. Whitson too strong. But there's Malashka, and she's fouled on the rebound.
That was a breakdown defensively for Houston there. Young didn't switch. She got caught, or Hill, I'm sorry, apologize. She didn't switch. She got caught.
ESPN Plus.
We had a little Alabama there.
Yeah.
Bringing us back in. Christmas in Dixie. To honor the country supergroup that played here at Middle Tennessee at Murphy Center. I think about 5 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Malashka knocks down both. Christmas in Dixie, one of my favorite non-traditional Christmas tunes, as Wheeler comes away with a steal.
I'm partial to Meli Kalikimaka. I saw athletic director Chris Massaro. We exchanged Christmas wishings, and I said, Meli Kalikimaka.
Getting ready for the
That's
Hawaii
right.
Bowl.
He said, I think I'm just going to say aloha.
There you go.
Yeah, Chris Massaro and Middle Tennessee football is excited to hit the road Monday morning. They'll be on a plane out to the island.
Malashka with a near impossible shot, scooping it with the right hand.
Her length makes her so difficult to guard inside and out, and you saw that firsthand right there.
15 points now for Ksenia, leading all scorers as that foul is going against Middle. It's going to be their 4th team foul, and it's going to be on Courtney Whitson. That's going to be her 2nd. As Avalon Miller has checked in for the first time tonight for the Cougs. Demila Brown, tough runner, too strong. That ball kicked out of bounds, last touched by Courtney Whitson, even though she disagrees.
6 on the clock.
Brown to trigger. And Blair shuffled her feet.
Had a running start on that catch right there, and that was an easy travel call.
Officials in both the men's and women's game paying a little bit more closer attention to the feet this year. Been a point of emphasis. As Malashka is going to be fouled on the way up. It's going to be the first against Miller. I saw a stat the other day that in the NBA they're calling more than double the amount of travels that they have last year.
Well, so let's say in the NBA they call maybe 1 a year.
Yeah.
So that now they're calling 2. Yeah.
It actually went from like 1.3 travel calls to 2.6-ish. I think that's the number I saw as Malashka hits another free throw.
Middle Tennessee doing it again from the line, 15 of 17 so far.
And Gregory with the offensive board.
And those are the little things. Sorry, Jake.
I was
Those
going
are
to say,
the
10th
little
offensive
things.
rebound.
Yeah, when you're a team that's 2-8 and you're struggling, you can look back at just a couple little plays here and there that can be the difference in a win or a loss. And so often, an offensive rebound from the free throw line.
And Wheeler will go back to the line. Cameron Jones, 3rd foul. As Middle just living at the line here in the 3rd quarter. First one rims out for Wheeler. First team all-conference a year ago for Marshall. 20 points per game, led the conference as she sinks the 2nd. 3 points now for Wheeler. And now Blair's in trouble.
Smart timeout by Coach Huey there just to make sure that they're able to not get trapped. And you can hang around for a while, but sooner or later there's a point in a game where 2 or 3 little mistakes and a 2-point game becomes a 10-point game, and that's the difference. And Houston's, if they're not careful, this is what's happening to them right now.
And Malashka got a big piece of that jumper as Hill's in trouble. And finally, Cameron Jones able to recover and put it back in. Her first bucket here in the 2nd half.
And I'm not sure McNeil, that was a shot attempt. It looked like she was trying to pass it over the rim to Hill there.
Less than 2 minutes left here in the 3rd, and Gregory had a bad angle on the entry pass. Threw it away.
Yeah, pressure by Houston caused her to rush that a little bit.
Middle still showing that pressure.
I like it. Even though they haven't really got those steals, it's kept Houston from just running their offense, and it's caused them to just shoot out of character shots that I don't think they're used to shooting right now.
Held the Cougars to just 10 points here in the third quarter. Skip pass to Whitson. Now they want to go to Malashka. Going right at Hill.
So smart. They turned it over trying to throw the lob last time. And so Gregory says, okay, great. I'll just change the ball into the funnel for Whitson and we'll play high-low. And Malashka, instead of sealing for an over-the-top pass, she just ducked back around, got good deep post position. And when she turns and faces, forget about it. She's going to score or get fouled 90% of the time.
Foul is actually against Logan McNeil. Apologies. It's a 16-point advantage as Malashka splits. So 17 points for Ksenia Malashka, coming off a 13.5 rebound performance against Memphis. And Hill is fouled. She takes a hard fall on the deck. Fifth-team foul against Middle Tennessee. It's going to be the first against Jalen Gregory. So now Houston will be at the line for the final minute and 8 seconds. Tatiana Hill hits the first free throw. 4 points tonight from the Decaney High School product. Hits them both.
The luxury of 2 point guards on the floor right now. One took it out, inbounded it to the other, and then when it came right back to Blakely, Houston just backed off. It's a lot more difficult to trap when there's 2 point guards on the floor.
So fourth team foul against Tatiana Hill as she was jostling for position with Malashka. So Malashka will head back to the stripe where she is 8 of 10 tonight.
Hill definitely not afraid to get physical down low. And you talk about Houston being a good offensive rebounding team. It's a lot because of Hill. Hill's 15th in the nation in O boards as an individual. So she loves playing down there around the basket.
Averages more than 4 offensive rebounds a game. As Malashka splits another pair. Less than a minute remaining here in the third. And Blakely with a swipe.
Give that assist to Savannah Wheeler. She stopped Blair. She crowded her, and when Blair stopped and turned around, Blakely was there and was able to steal that.
Now Middle starting to impose their will here as the clock winds down here in the third quarter.
The pressure has just taken Houston out of their sets, out of their half-court offense, and it's turned it into kind of a free-flowing game, and Houston not able to score in that type of a setting right now.
Malashka, a little 1-2 step, can't finish, but there's Whitson.
Another little play. Winning teams make those little plays, and Courtney Whitson did just that.
Blakely with another steal, the heave from half court. A little too strong, but Middle Tennessee has doubled up Houston in the last 2 quarters as they now lead by 20, 62-42 as we head.
The full court pressure really changed the dynamic of the game and the tempo of the game.
Malashka in traffic.
Yeah, for as much as Houston likes to play with a full court defense, as Malashka is just relentless on the boards down there. As much as Houston likes to play defensively that way, offensively, they've really struggled without structure in the half court.
Malashka now with 20. knocking on the door of her season high of 23, a mark that she set against Belmont in this building. As that three is on the way from Patterson, no good. Offensive rebound, and Patterson able to finish. Good rebound by Onyeje.
And a good cut by Patterson. That's twice, one by each team. We've seen offensive rebound and a player cut to the basket and get rewarded.
Now Malashka going to work against McNeil. Lost it on the way up. Good defense by McNeil. Transition three from Blair, in and out. Offensive rebound can't go for Onyeje. And a jump ball will stay with the Cougs. And Malashka will take a seat and get a nice round of applause from the fans here at the Murphy Center.
That was Blair's first miss from three tonight, and that looked in. That was in and out.
Yeah.
She really does a nice job in transition of just hopping right into that shot. She gets it off quick.
Blair scoreless in the third quarter, had 10 in the first half. Patterson muscling her way up and drawing the foul against Boulder-Reva.
Nice job by Patterson down low. Whitson went to double team. And then when she left to get back to her own, and Patterson already had that ball and was able to go up and make a play there. Good strong move.
Second foul against Boulder-Reva. Patterson hits the first free throw. And the second. Patterson now with 7 points.
We've said it, and it's worth repeating. This Houston team is a good team. They've got good pieces. They've had some close losses this year, but again, picked second in the American Conference this year. This is a quality game and another chance for Middle Tennessee to improve on their non-conference resume as they build into conference play.
Coming into this game, have lost 6 of their last 7. But as we said at the top of the broadcast, they're returning 4 starters from a team that went to the WNIT Sweet 16 from a season ago. They returned 75% of their scoring as Gregory, with the body check, will pick up the foul. So there's definitely some talent on this Houston team, just for whatever reason having a tough time putting it all together in the first couple months of the year.
Yeah, but you can see the pieces are there, and they're not far away. And this is a good test. This Middle Tennessee team is a good test for them. This is from a ranking standpoint, and they talk about net rankings a lot, the net rankings. This is the highest team Houston's played this year in Middle Tennessee with an 18 net ranking right now. So good opportunity for Houston to play against a very, very good team. A good opportunity for Middle Tennessee to continue to try to build their non-conference resume.
Yeah, Rick Insell said after the big win here against Louisville that he's getting this team ready for March right now. He's trying to prove to the committee that this team, whether they win the conference tourney or not, which of course, you know, he wants to, but that his squad is a big dance ready squad.
Yeah, you want to put yourself in a position where you're in the conversation already in December, and then you just have to maintain that spot. You don't want to have to be fighting in February and March to try to show the committee that you're worthy of getting in the NCAA tournament.
Savannah Wheeler will head to the line. Fourth foul going against Brittany Ayanje.
Good job by Wheeler turning the corner there. And again, Savannah Wheeler, when she gets into the lane, she's going to make something positive happen. She's going to convert the basket. She's going to get fouled, or she can go to the foul line, or she's going to make the right decision and distribute the basketball. Rarely is it an empty possession when she gets in the paint.
And she hits both free throws. All of her points tonight coming here in the second half. All 5 of them. As Boulder-Reva absolutely recycles Tatiana Hill. As ball will stay here with the Cougars. Still a 20-point lead for Middle. And a whistle on the inbounds. It's going to be the second against Wheeler. And the third team foul going against Middle. Tough baseline jumper is off the mark for Tierra Young, and it'll stay with the Cougars. Put 20 back on the shot clock.
Good job, Bria Patterson right there. Courtney Whitson turned to secure the rebound, and Patterson just came flying in and got her hands on it.
3 off the mark for Ayanje. As the Cougars now shooting 37% from the floor. At halftime, they're shooting almost 50%. It's been a rough second half for the Cougars as that ball is knocked away. And here comes Ayanje.
At that time, Courtney Blakely, Houston was in a hedge, and she was just one dribble late in getting the ball back to Boulder-Reva down low.
Impressive take by Ayanje off the dribble, finishing real smooth with the right hand. That's now 10 points for Ayanje, the second Cougar in double figures tonight, along with Layla Blair with 10. Boulder-Reva wide open on the block, missed it, and then fouls.
Yeah, another breakdown by Houston defensively, and Middle's found something. That time it wasn't as hard of a hedge by Houston's defense, but they ran to Whitson and left Boulder-Reva. Both players ran to Courtney Whitson on the pop for 3 and left Boulder-Reva down low.
So Boulder-Reva will take a seat with her third foul, fourth team foul against Middle. Now Brown in trouble. Layla Blair still looking for her first points here in the second half. Step back 3, Blakely got a piece of that one. $18-point advantage for Middle Tennessee. Largest lead, 22 at the start of this quarter, as there's another turnover. As Middle getting a little sloppy the last few possessions. And then Hill sprinting right to the rim and drawing the foul.
Yeah, that was one of the rare times this Middle Tennessee team has not gotten back in transition and protected the basket. They kind of got caught right in the middle, so to speak, of the floor. Houston had a clean run to the rim and was able to get it and finish at the basket, get 2 free throws.
So Gregory takes a seat with 3 fouls as Tatiana Hill hits the first free throw. Averaging 9 points, team high 8 rebounds. Top 10 in Houston history in blocks in both offensive and defensive rebounds. Hits both free throws. And that ball goes off the rim and right into the hands of Patterson. Wild play. And now another turnover. This game not over. It's a 14-point game halfway through the fourth. And that's going to be an offensive foul and the final foul against Tatiana Hill. And that is huge.
Yeah, she looks for contact when she screens, and the fact that Middle Tennessee was pushing away from the screen, she still tried to go and get a piece of Whittington, and she gets called for the moving screen. You're right, Jake. That she's a physical presence inside that's done a nice job for Houston. She'll spend the rest of this game on the bench.
And Malashka throws it away. That ball was tipped. And Middle will take over with 23 on the shot clock. Houston on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. Middle has turned it over on their last 4 possessions.
It's been 35 minutes of pressure by Houston. They're continuing it for 5 more.
Malashka lost it on the way up, trying to go through the defender. Now 5 on the clock for Blakely. And she's stripped. Great defense. Quick hands by Blair. And here comes Houston. And Wheeler with the steal.
What a big-time play by Savannah Wheeler right there. Everything going right for Houston, and she just hustles back, gets back in the play.
Whittington lost it on the way up, stays with it. And Houston with another takeaway. And the last couple of minutes of this ball game have gotten sloppy.
I think Middle Tennessee looks tired right now.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a media timeout yet this quarter, and again, this pressure wears on you. I think Middle Tennessee can't wait for this next media timeout so they can catch their breath and regroup a little bit.
Yeah, and Rick Insol's typically not one to call a timeout in the middle of gameplay as Malashka has a wide open 3, and that's no good. And it's a 12-point ball game.
No, he lets his kids play. He wants them to continue to work through their mistakes. And if Malashka would have made that 3, I bet he would have called the timeout. He does that, but nonetheless, they get their media timeout here with just under 4 minutes left, Jake.
Houston on an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 50.
Level of discipline for the entire game. Middle Tennessee's done a masterful job to this point, but that was a letdown right there, and certainly that media timeout couldn't have come at a better time.
Patterson will step into a 3. It's short, but another offensive rebound for the Cougars. Tough shot from Blair. Cast aside by Malashka.
Blair tried to go in against Malashka and just gives up so much size, and Malashka was able to stay away from the body and get her hand on that and block that shot.
Now Malashka in trouble after picking up her dribble. Wheeler 8 on the shot clock. She's at half court. Checked by Brown. Now 3. In trouble. Not going to get the shot off. And a big defensive stand yet again by the Houston Cougars.
Yeah, Savannah Wheeler got caught picking up her dribble right there and didn't have an ability or a way to create a shot for herself, and Middle was kind of just waiting for her to do something there.
Demila Brown left wide open, knocks down her second 3 of the night. And don't look now, but this is a 9-point ball game. Middle led by as much as 22 at the start of the second half, as Houston is on an 11-0 run over the last 4 minutes. And during that same time, Middle's in a scoring drought.
Throw it in. Give it to her.
She had Whitson on the block. And now Whitson 2 on the shot clock for 3. No good. And another empty possession for Middle Tennessee. Brown charging the other way. Draws the foul against Malashka.
Yeah, it was an empty possession, but took 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit to Middle, but good job by Houston. Then at the other end, they're going to come down and they're just going to play downhill, attack the rim right away. And when you're down in a time and score situation, you want to try to score points with the clock stopped, and that's what they're going to get the opportunity to do right now as they're going to the free throw line for 2 shots.
32nd timeout taken by Houston as Malashka is charged with her second timeout, or excuse me, second foul. And the 5th team foul against Middle Tennessee.
You know, we talked about Middle Tennessee has had some kind of victories where they've run away with it a little bit, and for a long time in the third quarter it looked like that was going to happen again tonight. This comeback by Houston, it's frustrating for the Middle Tennessee coaches for sure. It's frustrating for the fans, but this is an opportunity to teach and coach right now. And in that huddle during that timeout, Matt Insel and the rest of the Middle Tennessee staff were coaching Savannah Wheeler and coaching Courtney Blakely and teaching them, this is how we're going to handle these close games down the stretch, because at some point they're going to be in one just like this, and now they can draw on this experience.
Brown hits the first free throw. Kind of goes back to that WNIT semifinal against Seton Hall when Middle had a big lead and slowly let it slip away in that fourth quarter. Brown hits both. 7-point ball game, 2:14 to go. Houston fighting their way back on the road, looking for their first road victory on the year.
Yeah, and just 2 team fouls this quarter for the Cougars. So if it becomes an issue where they're going to have to foul to stop the clock, they've got to give a couple first before they can send Middle Tennessee to the foul line.
And now Gregory with the shot clock running out. Now Blakely, 5 on the clock. Blair, great defense, tough shot from Blakely, and it's short. And a block going against Blakely.
Yeah, that was a tough shot by Blakely, but then the last thing you want to do in this position is to foul and put Houston right back to the free throw line. Just get back, pick up, try to defend without fouling, limit them to 1 shot, secure the rebound, and go back the other way.
Houston currently outscoring Middle Tennessee in the fourth quarter, 17-4. And Blair, a 78% free throw shooter, still looking for her first points here in the second half. Missed both of them. Blakely clears. Those free throws would have been huge. And now the clock is Middle Tennessee's friend.
Yeah, keeps it a 3-possession game right now, and you're right, clock is their friend, and the fact that Houston would have to foul, that also plays into the hands of Middle Tennessee right now.
Just 2 team fouls for the Cougars right now as there's 4 on the shot clock, and that's going to be off the fingertips of Wheeler. But now just 1:15 remaining, and as you said, a 3-possession ball game.
So defend without fouling. Houston again wants to play fast, try to get something to the rim, get back to the free throw line. But how big were those 2 missed free throws last possession for Houston?
Patterson picks up her dribble. Now Blair, mid-range jumper, got the kiss.
And Blakely got caught looking inside there. She was responsible for guarding Blair, and Blair lost her and got around on a little European. Hit a big shot right there.
It's now a 5-point lead for Middle as we're going to check the clock. Currently says 57 seconds, 57.7. Wow, what a run by Houston. 15-0 run over the last 5.5 minutes. Meanwhile, Middle Tennessee on a scoring drought of 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, and a lot of those possessions were turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to miss shots and miss shots and miss shots, but they've had some uncharacteristic turnovers the last 6 minutes that have certainly played into this comeback for Houston.
Middle has turned it over 19 times. And as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Houston, one of the better teams in the country at forcing turnovers. They are 5th best in the nation right now. 25.5 turnovers they force a game.
Yeah, so Middle's still ahead of the game there, but I know that's not something that the Middle Tennessee staff is going to be excited about.
For a team that only turns it over 13 times a game.
Right, and had been in control throughout this entire game until this fourth quarter. Definitely not something that they're going to be excited about regardless of how these next 59 seconds go. They put a couple of seconds back on the clock.
Yeah, 59.2, and now Rick Insell wants to take a timeout to talk it over.
And he'll do that so that they can advance the ball.
Yes.
Coach Huey took that first timeout, and when the defense takes the timeout, you don't get the opportunity. You have to take it out the length of the court. But in women's basketball, you take a timeout at the last minute of the game, you can advance it into the front court, and that's what Middle Tennessee and most programs throughout the country at the women's level, that's what they choose to do. That's the preferred method right there.
So if you're Rick Insell in your huddle right now, what are you telling your team?
Tell your team to take care of the basketball. I mean, you really don't even need to get a shot up, honestly, because Houston's only has 2 team fouls, so they've got to foul 3 times before you go to the free throw line. The possession arrow was in your favor, so they're gonna. If you're Houston, you're trying to go for a steal, and you're trying to get a foul as quick as you can, and maybe get a jump ball. So Middle Tennessee's got to take care of the basketball. The ball should be in Savannah Wheeler, Courtney Blakely, or Jalen Gregory's hands. Be strong with the ball and take this onslaught of fouls that's going to come here in the next couple minutes.
Gregory got it back off the inbounds. And now Whitson, now Blakely at half court.
Little surprise, Houston's not fouling. They're going to play this possession out. That surprises me.
Still letting it play out as the clock ticks.
Now you better not foul. You've worked this hard. You've played this out.
Now 3 on the shot clock. Gregory from deep. Too strong and rebounded by Houston.
That's still a win for Middle Tennessee there, that possession.
Shot clock is off. 3 on the way. No good. And Blakely with a defensive rebound that should ice it. And now the foul by Demila Brown with 14.8 to go. So very, very interesting call by Ronald Hughey to not foul with just under a minute left.
Yeah, the problem is
3
now
to give.
They've got to foul another 2 times before Middle Tennessee will go to the foul line.
So 4th team foul now against Houston.
Now, if you're Middle, you want to get it to Savannah Wheeler or Courtney Whitson.
They get it to Malashka. She can't hold on to it. And we've got a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with Middle.
Yeah, Malashka came in there. They were trying to get it to Savannah or Courtney Whitson, and they were guarded right away, and Malashka just came rushing in to kind of be the fail-safe, and that was a nice job of getting the basketball and hanging on to it. But again, clock is still on their favor.
Now Whitson on the inbounds pass, clears it to Gregory, who's going to be fouled with 6 seconds left. Middle is going to win this game here tonight without having scored a point for the last 7.5 minutes and going to score no more than 6 points in the entire 4th quarter. Gregory now with 13.
It's a good win. It keeps their home winning streak intact. Closes out a nice non-conference for them, but yeah, as a coach, you'll be happy for the win, but you'll be frustrated with how it ended because it didn't end pretty.
Here tonight, as they will inbound with 6.8 to go.
And look, Middle Tennessee went to a 2-3 zone. I love that on so many levels, Jake. Houston spent the whole half drawing up, or the whole timeout drawing up a man play, and Rick Insell pulls a 2-3 zone on him.
So Middle Tennessee will extend their home regular season winning streak to 18 games after they hang on to their 7th win of the season and their 5th in a row. As up next, they